Hi there, welcome everyone. My name's Laura and I'm a contact associate, and I'm doing a little bit of work for Participation Matters Month, which is bringing together some of the stories from parent carer forums and people that are doing some of the amazing work within forums, to bring some of that kind of impact and show what it is that people have been doing, but also how parent carers might want to contact their local parent carer forum and join in some of the work that's happening, and get involved in some way. So I'm going to introduce the people on the screen now. So to my left is Abi.
Hi, I'm Abi Taylor and I am the Community Support Strategic Lead and also Preparation for Adulthood Navigator for Shropshire Parent and Carer Council.
Thanks, Abi. Then we have Sarah.
Hi, I'm Sarah Thomas and I'm the Influence and Change Strategic Lead for the Shropshire Parent and Carer Council.
Thanks, Sarah. And Denise.
Hi, I'm Denise Glover. I'm the other half of Abi with Preparation for Adulthood Navigator, and I'm also a parent carer rep for PACC.
Fabulous. Thanks so much. So we've got a few questions, or I've got a few questions that I've pulled together that I'd love to ask you. And we'll just go with the flow of the conversation and see where it takes us. So who's Shropshire PACC? Tell me that first of all, and what do they do? So PACC, what does that stand for?
Okay, so I'm going to pick up that one. So as you've heard, we're the Parent and Carer Council in Shropshire. That's where PACC, the name PACC comes from. And we were established as a parent carer forum back in 2008 when parent carer forums first started. And we've been really lucky in that we've been going ever since. We're a small local charity with a small but very active team. And we have three main work areas. So as you heard, I'm the lead for what we call our Influence and Change work area. And this is what is at the heart really of everything we do. It's about co-production, about ensuring that the knowledge and the experience of SEND families influence and shape the decision making that impacts their lives, and fundamentally about working with services and the system to improve day-to-day experience of SEND families. But there are other things that we need to do to support that work. So we have two other work areas, one of which is information provision. And we know from talking to families, on a daily basis, we have this ongoing conversation that finding out information about what services are available or where to go to get help and support is really difficult on an ongoing basis. And over the years, that role for PACC has really developed and grown. So we have a monthly newsletter. We're very, very active on Facebook, which anybody involved in the SEND world will know is a lifeline for SEND families. So we post daily on that. We have a mailing list of over 1,000 families that we send direct mails to. And we also have a website to communicate with our families and to share information, not just about what we're doing, but about any opportunities that might be of interest to SEND families. And then finally, a new work area for PACC has been community support. And that's been actually providing support directly to families through our organisation. And it's really important, not only because bringing SEND families together and seeing the support they give to each other can be incredibly powerful, but it also enables us to have contact with more families. Parent carers, SEND families are really busy. Life is challenging enough, and we recognise that it's not, everybody's cup of tea to fill in a survey or to sit in a meeting or to talk to a local service manager. But actually, if they can come to somewhere that is more relaxed, that their young person might be having some fun doing another activity, they might be chatting over coffee with a parent carer or one of our navigator reps that we're going to talk about today, then we can hear different experiences, different stories, from a wider range of people. So in community support, we do things like we work with another local agency, which is a sports partnership, to deliver a non-assessed short breaks offer for the 0 to 18-year-olds. We also have what we call our Buddies social network, which is very much parent carer led group that PACC facilitate, and we go, we arrange for groups of young people and their parent carers to go to things like local theatre groups. We go bowling once a month, we go for walks, and it brings families together in a really fun and relaxed way. And then most recently, what we're here to talk to you about today, we've been able to offer our preparation for adulthood, sorry, it's not very clear, preparation for adulthood navigator role, which is working with families in that transition period, and we'll tell you a bit more about as we go on.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Sarah, for that. So much activity going on for the forum, sounds, and lots of different ways and means of engaging. So families getting engaged in different types of activities that lead to that ultimate outcome of, I suppose, influencing and improving services for families, isn't it? I guess it gives that voice.
Absolutely, yeah. And we've recently done some interesting work around looking at our mission, our vision, our values, and our promise to the SEND community. And we're very clear that our vision is making and helping to make Shropshire a great place to live for SEND families. And our promise to SEND families is that we will champion their voice and their experience in those decisions that impact on their day-to-day lives.
Yeah, so it's really important, isn't it, that engagement and those conversations that you have with families comes through into that, to give it that, it needs insight, doesn't it, and feedback from people to be able to influence some of the changes.
And I think an important point I'd like to make, and sometimes it's not understood about forums, is that the difference about parent carer forums and the fact that we're experience-led organisations, we're all parent carers ourselves, we're embedded in the community, and we have an ongoing conversation with that community on a day-to-day basis. It isn't just a one-off survey or anything, we are constantly talking to other parent carers.
And you're hearing everything, aren't you?
Hearing everything across, the whole experience. And I think that's a really unique element of parent carer forums, and a very valuable one.
Yeah, agreed. So you mentioned then some of the work, and this is part of the conversation today about PFA Navigators. So just want to ask a question. We love using acronyms sometimes, don't we, in the world that we're in. So first of all, what is PFA?
I'll take that up.
What does it stand for?
Okay. It stands for Preparation for Adulthood, and it focuses mainly on 14 to 25-year-olds in their transition into adult services. So in early experiences, our life's early experiences help us to prepare for life as an adult. For children and young people with SEND, this should be recognised in the support they receive from the earliest point. There's particular focus on from year 9. From year 9, within the EHCPs, there's a focus on preparation for adulthood, and looking at those outcomes, so that it's really important that those outcomes are met to the best, for that young person. Conversations about the young person's future should involve themselves, the parent carers, their teachers, and anybody else who's involved with their support or care, or within education, and help them plan actively for the future, so that transition into adult services and adult life. And the 4 main areas of those preparation for adulthood that we actually focus on is employment and further education. But employment, a lot of our young people with SEND, maybe employment isn't a realistic option, so quite often voluntary opportunities, which is something PACC is working on at the moment. I'm sort of trying to facilitate voluntary opportunities that may continue as voluntary opportunities, or give them opportunities actually to move on to work or further voluntary places. So it's giving those people the skills and the confidence to do those things. Independent living. So most young people want to move into their own place, and so focusing on what support they might need and what needs to be provided. and being part of the community has become really important within Shropshire. As Sarah said, we run the Buddies group, which is 14 to 25-year-olds. Amazing relationships are being made with those young people, and when they catch up with each other at different activities, they're high-fiving each other and giving each other hugs, and there's a real sense of friendship and ongoing friendships as well. And the ones that maybe are stronger at some things than others will help the others, and just without being asked, they'll just go along and help get something out, or help that young person do something. And welcoming as well. If somebody's new to our Buddies group or other activities that are run, then there's always somebody from our young people that will welcome those new people in. And also health is the fourth area of focus. So that's health and well-being. So looking at things like annual health checks and mental health, and and also being part of a community has a big impact, obviously, on mental health and well-being.
So that's PFA in a nutshell. So it sounds like it's about future planning, isn't it? It's about working towards perhaps aspirations that they might have in kind of as they move through from 14 to 25. It's some of that health and well-being. So how is it they want to be? What connections do they want to make with people? How do they want to build their own community, and so they've got those long-lasting kind of friendships and understanding, so they feel part of and rooted in their local area, I guess, especially if there's voluntary and employment opportunities as well.
Yeah, it's more empowering for them, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. So it sounds like an amazing strand of work that's happening. So tell me a little bit more then about what's a PFA Navigator, and when and how did that role come about?
I'm going to give you a little bit of the background on how it came about, first of all. PACC had been doing some work around this age group and the experience of transition in Shropshire for some time. And it was clear that there were some significant challenges in this area. So, we focused a lot on the importance of PFA for the young person, and obviously that is ultimately it's their experience that we're looking to improve. But we also were hearing from families that this was a really difficult period for parent carers. It's a period of tremendous change. You're dealing with young people growing in some senses and moving on to a different stage of life. And some things really change, but often in the SEND world for our young people, other things don't, because they're not hitting the same milestones and the same development stages as other young people. And what we were hearing from families through the work that we did was that there was a significant lack of information for parent carers. It felt like a bit of a black hole. They felt emotionally really challenged by the whole thing because it was scary. It's difficult enough if you've got children who without SEND who are leaving home or getting into new relationships or starting a new job or moving into a different house, but when you have been so involved in your child's and young person's life, and they've been so in many cases reliant on your care, and you've advocated for them, it's a whole new relationship developing when somebody turns 18 or 16, and parents were telling us that they were feeling very overwhelmed. It was a huge level of change, and there was a real lack of information available. So we did a couple of pieces of work. We did of course, for a parent care forum, we did a survey, and we produced a report, which is the other thing that we do. And the report was called A Sense of Purpose and a Home of My Own. And we really focused on what it was that parent carers felt would give a good outcome to families. And what we saw was that families do have really positive aspirations for their young people. This isn't families wanting to isolate their young person from the world or wrap them up in cotton wool. They wanted them to be supported into independence. They wanted them to be, have the best life they possibly could. And that, the young people as well were telling us that they wanted to do the same thing as any other young person. They wanted to have a home of their own. They wanted to have friends and a community. And then we did some work with adult social care, which was really great to be able to work with the adult sector as well. And we looked at things like supported living and what the options were. And luckily, as is often the case with these things, it's just an aligning of agendas. NHS England developed, were working on their long-term plan, part of which had a learning disability and/or autism programme. And part of that programme was funding available to look at transitions and the transition experience. So I sit on our local learning disability and autism programme board and delivery boards. And so I worked with leads from the sector. And we should say this developed both across Shropshire and Telford. So there is a similar navigator process in Telford because our integrated care board funds both areas and is responsible for services in both areas. But we worked with our preparation for adulthood leads, our adult services leads. We talked about what we'd learned from families, and what we proposed was that what families needed was this navigator role to help them navigate this journey into adulthood. So that's the background to how we came up with the idea for the preparation for adulthood navigators. So I'm going to hand over to Abi to tell you a little bit about what they actually do and what they are.
So the preparation for adulthood navigator service is aimed at parent carers in Shropshire, and it's about the importance of parent carers having someone to talk to and someone that's going to listen to them. It's a scary time for parent carers and young people to navigate the system, to know what to expect next, and also to know what their options are. So it's important they've got someone that they can speak to that understands what they're going through. And as well as being this role and it being our work area, me and Denise are obviously both parent carers ourselves. So Denise is going through this journey at the moment, and my young person's 13 at the minute. So it's something we're considering and looking at options. It's really important as well that we're impartial and independent. So we provide advice and information that the family needs. There's no need to signpost anywhere if we don't think it's appropriate for them. And it's important that they've got someone that can do some of the legwork for them, that they're not having to do everything themselves. If things are a bit too much and there's something we can help with, it's a service we can offer. So the signposts and information we provide is on any aspect of a young person's life. So a lot of parent carers come to us when their young people doesn't have a social life, they're struggling to make friendships, and they're struggling to make a social life in school. So we speak to them of options and what's available in Shropshire out of school for them to do. We schedule a Teams call and get to know background about their family, interests, likes, what the young person's interested in, and signpost them to relevant activities. We also speak about education options. So a big area that parent carers come to us with is that their young person's leaving school in the next year or two. They know what they want to do, but they don't know what their options are, what education options are open to them, what the eligibility criteria is for options. If this young person isn't academic and they're worried they're not going to get GCSEs, can they still go to college, and what's going to be available? We also talk a lot about EHCPs and annual reviews and what they can expect. What they need to do to prepare for these reviews and what should happen in annual reviews from year 9 onwards. We also provide a lot of information about mental health support and well-being, and also the consideration of the parent carers' mental health and well-being, and making sure that they're aware it's a priority, that they need to look after themselves as well. And on the back of that, me and Denise run the Healthy Parent Carer Programme, which is a 12-week programme we deliver online for parent carers, promoting resilience, mental health and well-being.
So it sounds like there's lots of activity happening around that programme of work. So just one question that I'm really interested in asking is, what difference do you think the PFA Navigator roles have had so far? What's been the difference made, do you think?
So we send parent carers feedback forms after one-to-one support, or if we've put events on, we'll send a feedback form. It's had really positive feedback from the parent carers we've engaged with so far. The key areas that we've had the best feedback on are social opportunities for children and young people, and information on education, provision and EHCPs. Parent carers have told us that we've made them feel like we're not alone, that it's really helped them having someone to listen who understands and can empathise and also relate to their experiences. A majority of the PFA cases we've had so far in the previous year have gone on to access social opportunities that we've developed and run, which has created new friendships and given them a community, and the young people that we've supported are thriving. Parent carers have also created their own support network. So we're signposting families to activities and they're meeting other parent carers that we've signposted there as well. And they're creating their own support networks outside of those activities, which is really nice to hear.
So loads of links and connections made for people and building some of that community that's really required. I guess this time that is sometimes feels very uncertain and people unsure about the what next. So building some of that around it sounds so interesting and so helpful for families to be able to have that navigator role, to almost kind of be alongside them through the process, but also building some of that support that's required. So it's not, you know, just the navigator, I guess, is it, that's building some of that support? It's actually people building support for each other, which I guess is the thought around sustainability of, you know, things happening for families in local areas and for children and young people, is that 14 to 25 age is key in building some of that community, so that people know what it is that they can potentially move into, whether it's volunteering opportunities, whether it's employment, whether it's further education. There's lots, I suppose, conversations that can happen between people and families that say, this is what's happened for me, and this is a potential opportunity for other people as well. That's kind of what I'm hearing from this, is that
what we also find is we'll get contact from a parent carer about one area, so they just might want signposting to a service or knowing someone that can help them, and from offering team calls to just chat through anything and everything that might be on their mind at that moment, that there are loads of other areas that they didn't realise we could offer information on. And it's not just they'll contact us and we have one conversation and that's it, it's ongoing. They're very aware that if anything comes up they're struggling with or they need more information on, they've got mine and Denise's email address and we're there for them if they need us. But I think it's really important for parent carers to know that they have just got someone, if they're struggling or they're not sure, they've got someone they can just reach out to and ask if we can help, and if we can't, we'll find someone that can and signpost them onto them.
Yeah, Denise and Abi have done a tremendous job as well of creating resources that are useful for this transition period and finding out information. And again, it comes back to our other work area that we talked about, information provision. So, you know, they have created relationships, gathered information together in one place. So there's a real ease of access for families, and they can point them to some of the the amazing resources that Contact have, for example, which often families don't know about. But one of the things that we'd like to share with you is that we are producing some case studies, and Denise has got a little bit to tell us about the journey of one particular family and young person through their being supported by a navigator.
That'd be great. Yeah, Denise.
Yeah, this young person was actually out of county in education, but it was residential. So he'd been there for about 4 years, and at the age of 19 was moving back into Shropshire with no transition plan at all. Didn't know what he was going to be doing, didn't know how to access services. The family very much felt on their own in terms of working out what happens next. He'd come from a very supportive environment with an education and care package, and he needed to build a whole new support system and network from scratch. So it was, it was literally starting, the family hadn't got a clue what was out there, and felt very, very isolated. And we asked them about the difference, the information being provided, and parent carer said has been invaluable. They know they can contact the parent carer knows that she can contact us anytime for information, advice and support, and they are there to help and point me in the right direction. I've now a network of friends who are parent carers, she says, through my son's activities, which is what Abby was saying before, and Sarah. I feel the navigators understand from a parent care perspective, which makes such a difference. So they know that empathy is there, and that we get it. We're all on that similar journey. And the difference that parent care felt was that she literally said, in quotes, we would not have survived this last year without the information support from the navigators. So that's really shows her desperation really about the lack of information she had at the time. They provided us with activities and routines through the holidays. And they're also, the navigators are part of her young person's network of trusted adults. And we also facilitate that he is he's an advocate within the SEND community. He's quite an articulate young man. And so he's very able to reach out to other young SEND young people, and support them. And and that obviously is given him confidence as well in himself, and helped him develop new friendships. And he's also been able to take part in voluntary experiences as well that we've recently organised, and has enjoyed that as well. And also the parent care herself has managed to access relevant training that we've managed to put on the parent carers. We recently ran a IPSI workshop for EHCPs, specifically focusing on preparation for adulthood. So, and a lot of parent carers found that very useful. It's well attended. And we wanted to know about how the young person would describe their life now. And parent carer said he has an amazing social life and a lovely group of friends. I just thought it was lovely. It just made, it's heartwarming, isn't it, to hear that, really, that he's got that sense of connection.
Sounds like a really impactful and great piece of work that's been happening.
You'll also find on the PACC website reports on the PF Navigator project. So we produce termly reports, 3 reports a year. Obviously, part of our funding requirements are that we show what we've done and the impact of that. And we've produced a summary for the first year as well. So if anybody is particularly interested in receiving that, we're happy for them to contact any of us. The details are on the website, the PACC Shropshire website, and we're happy to share those.
Thank you for your time today, and we will post some of the information alongside this recording so that people can connect with you and get some of the resources off the website and things like that. But thank you so much.